Now is the perfect time for Microsoft to go on the offensive bit. You have a lot of sites and a lot of people calling out Sony for some of the things that they're doing. Obviously, jacking up the price of their console by $50 in a lot of territories isn't going to help them out very much. It's not going to be a good thing for gamers. It's not going to be a good thing for gaming. I'm frankly scratching my head about it right now, and I usually have a pretty quick turnaround when it comes to getting over stuff, or especially this doesn't affect me personally. I have my PS5 since day one, but usually a couple years into a generation you see maybe a bit of a price drop, and the fact that Sony is jacking up the price even more just sort of makes you question Jim Ryan a bit, or whoever decision this was, that they're not reading the room right. And I know that a lot of people out there probably think that Sony can do no wrong. I've seen a lot of excuses for this. Obviously, I will harken back to the PS3. And when I talk about that, like on social media, and I brought up the PlayStation 3, a lot of people go, well, the PlayStation 3 came back to beat the Xbox 360. You kind of missed the point, right? So we could go by sales of console, which unofficially the PlayStation 3 did come back and win by less than 1 million over the Xbox 360. But if you look at what happened with the PS2, where Sony had sold 155 million PS2s, they dropped that all the way down to, what was it, 84 million or 85 million or whatever it was, PS3s. They had 92% market share with the PS2, 92%. So you had 155 million PS2s, 24 million Xboxes, 23 million GameCubes, right? And they went from that to 100 million Wiis, 85 million Xbox 360s, and 85.5 million PS3s. They lost by over 20 million in North America, a place they dominated the previous generation. So we could, and they also lost somewhere along the lines of $7 billion that generation. So they've even stated that had the PS4 been a failure, there wouldn't be a PlayStation anymore. So we see that there's this kind of effect there. But now it looks like Sony is kind of going all in on this jerk-ass kind of commitment again, and I don't understand it, to be honest with you. I think that it's a little bit frustrating, to say the least, and I feel bad for my fellow gamers, because at the end of the day, there's a lot of people out there still looking for a PlayStation 5, and Sony almost seems like, to me anyway, that they said, hey, those people that are scalping our consoles, we're going to one-up them, we're going to scalp them ourselves, right? If people are willing to pay more money for them, we'll go ahead and charge it for them. But then you see Microsoft kind of make announcements like this and officially announce things like this, and you just got to say, who in their right? Look, I'm not trying to put anything down. I think Sony makes some really good games, but at the end of the day, I can live without some of these games if they're going to just charge these absorbent fees for their console and just think that that's okay. I don't understand it, but at the same time, Microsoft basically, in some of these places, you could pick up a Series S and Game Pass for half the cost of a PS5 now. So, I mean, think about that before we kind of go forward anymore, and how Sony could be pricing themselves out of people's homes. I'm not going to get into any more details about that, but Game Pass continues to be a fantastic value. We continue to see, more and more studios picked up by Microsoft, and it looks like the Sega one, even if that one doesn't turn out to be true, Microsoft has their eyes on more companies, and that's just a fact. I want to get into this article and this interview right now, but before I do, please, if you're watching my content, hit the like button. I'm looking for 100 likes on each of these videos. I know it doesn't sound like much, but it would be a tremendous help, and it would mean a lot to me. So do that. Let's go ahead and get started. It's going to be a great video. Let's go. I don't mean to sound like a huge douche nozzle, but it seems to me like Microsoft is doing a lot of the things properly and things to get people excited about the future of Xbox. And Sony, so far this generation, has really just continued to raise prices. And it's so surreal to me that so many people are, kind of backing what Sony's doing by making excuses for them, right? So while Microsoft puts out a very inexpensive current gen console, the Xbox Series S, and they put all their first party stuff in Game Pass day one, and it's just a really cheap way to kind of get people into gaming and give all kinds of options: cloud, PC, what have you, console. On the other side, Sony is, raising prices on their console. They've raised the price to first party games. They've raised the price of PS Plus. Everything is just up and up and up and up and up and up. And to me, it just doesn't make a lot of sense that that's happening. I think that it's unfortunate, and I also think that it's unfortunate that people would give Sony a free pass on any of this stuff. To me, I just don't think that it makes much sense. But with that being said, according to this, Phil Spencer says that Xbox is going to consider even more studio acquisitions, which again I think is a good thing. Get Game Pass, even more content. Microsoft started its acquisition of Activision Blizzard nearly $70 billion earlier this year. That's crazy to think about it. $70 billion, by far the largest deal that's ever happened in the history of video games. Now, personally, just like I said, I love the fact that Microsoft is continuing to add games to Game Pass, and whether they buy Sega or whether they buy whoever, I think is a very smart thing to kind of do, and I applaud them for doing that, and I think it's just realistically what it does is it comes down to being intelligent about how you're going to run things in the future, and that's one of the things that I think I love most about Microsoft. $70 billion for Activision, almost $8 billion for Bethesda. They're showing no signs of stopping. During a recent interview, Phil Spencer said that Xbox is considering even more studio acquisitions. The gaming community has been anticipating the Microsoft acquisition of Activision Blizzard to go through since it was announced in January, and according to Phil, the progress being made is encouraging for the new company. The $68.7 billion deal drastically outweighs previous Microsoft acquisitions like Obsidian, Mojang, Playground, and Ninja Theory, which have all started to develop games under the Xbox Game Studios umbrella. While it's unlikely that Microsoft will make another massive purchase like the Activision Blizzard one anytime soon, Spencer hints at even more coming. He confirmed that Microsoft remains exceptionally focused on the Activision Blizzard deal going through, and he stated that he's answering difficult questions about the acquisition, like how it will affect the gaming market and what the company's intent is in buying a prominent publisher. Although Microsoft is dedicated to the process, Spencer also stated that the company is interested in investing in new games, partnerships, and possibly further deals like the Activision Blizzard one. Referencing Xbox's major expansion into the Japan market with the Series X and S, Phil Spencer said to Bloomberg, and I quote, "Even though we've worked on our geographical expansion, I'd still say we have too many of our creators in places that are our traditional markets. Xbox recently confirmed that multiple Persona titles will be coming to the Xbox platform and Xbox Game Pass in an effort to expand beyond these traditional markets. While the former PlayStation exclusive from Hideo Kojima, Death Stranding, just dropped on PC Game Pass. Although Phil Spencer has teased more acquisitions in the future, he also suggested that there will be fewer exclusives and more playable games between consoles moving forward. Though it hasn't gone through yet, many Microsoft fans have been speculating on when the Activision Blizzard titles will join Game Pass and what game will be the first released under the Xbox umbrella after the acquisition, since it was made public at the beginning of the year. So again, a lot of people are anticipating this kind of stuff. I think it's going to be a huge move. We're going to be seeing Microsoft go out there and continue to just absolutely bowl people over with these games and content and all this stuff, and it's just so impressive to see. I love seeing Microsoft go out there and do that. They've been just a top flight company since listening to fans, and you have to just be thankful that they're doing what they're doing. With that being said, I'm going to link this article. You guys can all check it out in the description. Let me know what you think. Rack 'em up, fact 'em up, Crap Gamer 'em up. Thank you so much for watching. Crap Gamer out.